Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another DC review, and in this DC review I'll be covering Detective Comics issue 1084 and The Flash issue 8 by Simon Spurrier. I'll now get things ready for the one that I'll be covering first. So as we move into Ram V's crescendo, so moving towards the end of this story by Ram V. Does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? In some essence, not so much, to which I give the cover a 6 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the area of the internal art and also have a look what's happening story-wise with the characters as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end. I do want to point out that I will not be covering the backstory in this. So as we start to move into the beginning of the story, we have Bruce Wayne Batman also catching up with, we have the character of the Fake Question, which is Renee Montoya. We also have Jim Gordon, a good OG character, and I'm not too sure who this particular character is. It isn't mentioned by name. At first I thought it might have been Killer Croc, but it's definitely not him, nor is it Solomon Grundy, as it doesn't seem to have his appearance. So, Ram V, I'm afraid your writing skills are really failing here. I really got to point it out, especially if what you're trying to bring out picture-wise. You need to at least get across to the audience who some of these villains are. Like, some characters, yes, can be known by the people, others are not. So let's move towards the middle. Now, as we start to draw towards the middle, we end up catching up with the characters of Lady Shiva, Talia al Ghul. We get to see one of the Organs, and it seems that Talia has a bit of a plan to resurrect one of the Organs to, I guess, undermine one of the Organs' plans of what they're trying to do in Gotham City. And last but not least, towards the end, to which we get to see Batman catching up with Selina Kyle, Catwoman, as he starts to prepare towards the end of this particular story. For the internal art, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. So first things first, do we get anything comic reference-wise? Considering how far we are in comic issues, there should at least be comic references. The answer is no. Because, you know, lazy storytelling is a part of DC Comics these days, I guess. And it probably wouldn't hurt for the editor to speak with the writer and the writer with the editor and all that other nonsense to make sure that these important references are brought in, especially if there's important parts in the story to which you might want the reader to go back to certain previous issues are connected to this story to start to help lay out the plan of what you're setting up for the end game, and even what plot holes you're planning on finishing up. So, next is the area of time. Do we get any indication, time-wise, throughout the day? None at all. Location. Well, of course, one of the locations is in Gotham. There are other locations here, but they're not at all mentioned by name, which is actually terrible. And that also leads to a loss of points, story-wise. But one thing that it didn't sort of fail at is actually the cast of characters, to which we had Batman, Bruce Wayne, we had Renee Montoya, the Fake Question, we had Jim Gordon, Talia al Ghul, we had Azam Orgum, Daria, who we learn is, I think, the mother. So Daria Orgum, as she has sort of like tried to cover up like some of her evil things that she's been responsible for. Lady Shiva, and last but not least, we had Selina Kyle, Catwoman, For the overall story rating, I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. Now it's time to get things ready for The Flash issue 8. Alright, so as we start to move into The Flash issue 8, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? I'm afraid to say no, and I'd have to say that I totally agree with Rocky. This is probably one of the worst covers that have been put out there in regards to The Flash. And of course, we're following the character of Barry Allen Flash in this particular story. So for the cover, I gave it a 5 out of 10. And let's see how much worse things get in regards to the internal art as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end. And also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So as the story begins, we get to see the Flash going through many places, and we've got no idea where the F we are. And of course, it looks like we've even got Amanda Waller involved, and some other people who are in here who I got no idea who some of them are. And this, I point out, is terrible storytelling. It's lazy. And it does not at all think of the person who's reading the story. If anything, more like the person who's wanting this story is the writer, not the actual audience. As we draw closer to the middle of the story, we end up catching up with Kid Flash, Jesse Quick, and a couple of others that make their appearances in the story, as well as Jai West. And last but not least, we get the appearance of Amanda Waller and her interference in the story. So for the internal art, I give it a 6.5 out of 10, as I did not quite enjoy the art that much. Now it's time to move into the area of the story rating itself. So do we get any comic book references? Considering we're now officially up to 8 issues. We do get one in regards to a free comic book day issue, to which I might try to get, which is connected to the Absolute Power free comic book day issue 1. Of course, we have Time, to which is not mentioned at all, because you'd think time would be very important, especially for a speedster. It doesn't matter which speedster it is in the universe, you know? Someone's going a little bit too full retard here. Next is location. I had no idea where the hell this was taking place. Last but not least is the cast of characters. At least with the cast of characters, I managed to get quite a number of the cast of characters who are making an appearance in this story. We had, plus also mentioned by name, we had Jimmy Scorch, Iris West, we had Barry Allen Flash, Jai West, Amanda Waller, Inspector Pilgrim, Jesse Quick, Wallace West, Kid Flash. For the overall story rating in this, I give a 6 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.